Denmark is mad about Greenland. Welcome aboard. Well, this is a first for teachers and train stations. This is the first episode that I'm really doing by myself without Jeremy. Jeremy has some family issues he's dealing with, and so I'm going to go ahead and do a show. It's also the first show that we are posting the same day it was recorded, and we'll be doing a lot more of that this week. So what's going on with Denmark? Why are they mad about Greenland, and why are they mad at the United States? Well, this is from today. A new Trump envoy has been promoted by Donald Trump, or pushed forward by Donald Trump. And let's see why Denmark is upset. A new Trump envoy says he will serve to make Greenland part of the United States. Trump announced on Sunday that Jeff Landry, the Republican governor of Louisiana, would become the U.S.'s special envoy to Greenland, a semi-autonomous part of the Kingdom of Denmark. Governor Landry said in a post on X it was an honor to serve in a volunteer position to make Greenland part of the United States. So Denmark is really upset because Greenland makes up a huge amount of their territory. Problem is, there's only 56 or 58,000 people there, 57,000 people there. Here's the problem, according to CNN. Denmark's foreign minister said Monday he was deeply upset by President Donald Trump's appointment of a special envoy to Greenland, who declared that he wished to see the island become part of the United States. Quote, I am deeply upset by this appointment of a special envoy, and I'm particularly upset by his statements, which we find completely unacceptable. Well, here's the problem. Denmark is a really, really small country, and Greenland is about a third of the size of the United States. Let's take a quick look at the map. There's Greenland. Can you even find Denmark on the map? I mean, it's not even showing. So let's show the proximity. Oops. Let's go ahead and show the proximity of Greenland to the United States. Here's the United States. There's Greenland. And Greenland is in a very strategic position. If you look up at the top of the globe, this is the top. It's all covered in ice and snow, and it's mostly impassable. But with global warming, with the North Pole getting less ice and the South Pole getting more ice, you're going to now see these areas become waterways and transportation routes for merchant ships and products. So it's going to become very important. Up here, you have Russia. Russia would love to take charge of Greenland because it would give them a complete blockade in the North Pole. If you look over here, this is Canada. And we've been talking a lot about Canada, or at least parts of it, joining the United States. Why? Because whoever controls this area here controls the waterways, same as Greenland. Whoever controls this area up here controls the waterways. Now, let's go over here. Let's see if we can even find Denmark. You got to zoom in. It is this little teeny tiny country right here. China, Russia, and the United States are very interested in controlling Greenland because whoever controls that will have major control over the top of our planet. The other thing is Greenland is full, chock full of resources, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But let's talk about Denmark. Denmark is a very small country. It doesn't even fill Southern California. I mean, for the United States, that fills maybe a couple of counties in Southern California. That's it. If you look at Denmark, they have 22,000 armed forces. They cannot protect this area from Russia or China, or to be fair, the United States. We far outnumber their military. Now, we're trying to say, hey, let us buy Greenland. We'd like to invite Greenland to be part of the United States or be a protectorate or make some kind of deal with the United States where we will invest heavily in Greenland to help them mine and get out and utilize their natural resources. By joining the United States or making a deal with the United States or bringing their ties closer to the United States, we would outright be able to make everybody, those 57,000 people on Greenland, filthy, filthy rich beyond their wildest dreams. But let's take a look at some other countries here. Let's look at China. China, you've got 22,000 people from Denmark in their military, and you've got almost 3 million people that are in their armed forces. Do you think that Greenland would have a chance of standing up to China if China decided to go in and just take over? The only thing protecting Denmark from being completely controlled by China is the United States, because they are part of NATO. Let's take a look at Russia. Compared to Denmark's 22,000 soldiers, you've got 1.5 million soldiers from Russia. Now, Russia's military is beyond battered now because of what's going on in Ukraine. Ukraine is doing surprisingly well against Russia, but Russia, if they really wanted to go into Greenland, the only thing protecting Greenland is the United States. Without the United States, Denmark is probably at some point going to lose control of Greenland. So they might as well get something for it. Now, so what's the benefit of Greenland joining the United States? Well, first off, there's military protections. One, if the U.S. military was there, we could protect them from Russia. We could completely protect Greenland with their naval corridors. Denmark can't do it. I mean, that's just the reality of it. Denmark cannot protect Greenland. Denmark relies on NATO and the United States to protect Greenland. And what are they offering Greenland? Well, not much in the way of protection. Another big thing is natural resources. Denmark is continually telling Greenland, nah, you know what? We believe in the environment. And so we're not going to allow you to utilize your natural resources of this humongous island. And while the United States does care about the environment, we're also saying, hey, we can mine out and get these resources responsibly, and Greenlanders would have great jobs. We would put massive investment into the country, far beyond anything that Denmark can do. We can help Denmark get fresh water. There's fresh water in the ice sheets. We could help them with desalination. We could help them with energy reserves because they have a lot of natural gas. We could absolutely help Greenland take advantage of these natural resources and make the island wealthy and well protected. Another thing would be influence. Being part of the United States means something, whether it's Guam, which is not part of the United States as a state, but it is a protectorate, whether it is Puerto Rico, which gets a lot of assistance from the United States. The same thing could happen for Greenland. I would love to see Greenland come in and become the 51st state. Maybe, who knows, Greenland can come in and be the 51st state before Alberta and Saskatchewan and all those other Canadian provinces that really want to get away from Canada and maybe even become a state, especially since they want closer ties with the United States. It just makes sense. They do have more of a socialist system. Okay, so what we do is we turn to them, just like Alaska does. Alaska, when they withdraw resources, people in Alaska get a dividend of that. Well, of the 57,000 people in Greenland, we would be able to give them a dividend for that. And Greenland would be able to put together their own kind of healthcare system if they didn't want to join what we have or do an American style healthcare system. We would be able to build roads. We would be able to give them infrastructure. We would be able to build all sorts of hospitals and air bases and all sorts of things that would lead to massive amounts of jobs in Greenland. So here's what I have to say to Denmark. Look, Denmark, I get it. It is a big part of your kingdom, but you're not really offering Greenland anything. What are you really offering Greenlanders? They want independence from you. It's just going to be a decision for Greenland of who are they going to align themselves with, who are they going to give more ties with, and how is this whole situation going to play out? Well, thank you for letting me do my first solo show. I can't wait till Jeremy gets back. But you know what? If you like what we're doing, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, comment, say what you're thinking about Greenland. Do you think Greenland should become part of the United States? Should it just make more economic ties with us? Should it become a protectorate? Do you think Greenland should just stay with Denmark, or do you think China or Russia should get involved? And with that, we'll see you at the next stop.